Hi. Today I wanted to start teaching about a brief history about Bible, and here my objective is actually not to teach about Bible or specifically any topic, but rather to practice and to make this camera shyness away and to become better at the communication. Here, the entire Bible books, as well as to connect our current scenario to biblical timelines, I'm choosing to point it out based on the Jewish temple's construction. So, how I'm going to split it is the time before the first temple construction, then the destruction of the first temple, second temple, and the destruction of the second temple, and then how does it connect to our timeline. So to the first topic, which is the construction of the first Jewish temple. uh, Before we get it to there, the story goes from the time of Genesis, where God created Adam, and one he was the son of God, and he was given the domain of the complete earth. He was an amateur god, and but because of disobedience and what God told him not to do, he went ahead and did it. He was casted out of Eden, and from there, the human civilization gets started out. And through his sons and offsprings, through Eve, the generations started coming, and they multiply, on the face of earth. And then in this timeline, Noah is also coming, and at the time of Noah, there comes a big flood where all the inhabitants of the earth and the creatures, except for them which were inside the ark, they get destroyed by the water. And from his three sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, the generations begin again. And in that generations, God chooses Abraham, and through him comes Isaac, and from Isaac, Jacob and Esau, and Jacob and Ishmael, and from Jacob comes the tribe fathers, and in which also comes Joseph. This Joseph, when got sold to Egypt, and later he becomes the ruler there, through his influence, get all the people of Israel, roughly around 76, if I remember, they call them into the Egypt. And there, because of his position, they were given a very good place and a stay. And the Israelites, they dwell in Egypt. And the time passes. Joseph, as well as other tribe fathers, all of them passes away. And after that, uh, there for roughly 400 years or so, the Israel people get they get multiplied there, and slowly the Pharaoh grows fear of Israel people because of their numbers, and they enslave the Israel people. And after their cry, and also tenure comes, then God sends Moses, and Moses calls them out of Egypt, and that is where the Exodus begins. And when Moses calls them out through the Exodus, and then his Exodus uh, passes on to Joshua, and who places them into the promised land. And Joshua was also one of the first judges to Israel, and then after him, many other judges comes, and they all minister to Israel. And after the period of judges, There comes Samuel, who is also a prophet, and he governs and lead Israel in the fear of God, and also he gives them the word of God. Later, people ask for a king like other nations, and God asked Samuel to give them a king like they asked for, and that's how Saul gets anointed as the first king of Israel. After Saul, uh, his descendants does not take the throne, but rather God gives it to a man after his own heart, David, and David becomes the king. And when David becomes the king, and he has this desire in his heart to build a temple for Christ, God, because he was in sheepfold, and God took him from there and made him a king over all the Israel. So he wanted to do uh, build a good tabernacle for his God, but God chooses. God asked David not to do it, but gather all the materials for it. Then Solomon he constructs the first temple for for God. So this is the first construction of first temple. Um,